Hey, welcome back to the COVID-19 Safer at Home series. Today we're looking at primary branching. So let's turn the camera around so you guys have a better look at what we're looking at. All right, so today we're looking at primary branching in deciduous material. That's what I have mostly. We're gonna look at that guy right there, which is a Trident maple. Let me grab that and put that on our table and we can look at some more here. So our subject today is a Trident maple. Let me look around the circle here. I have this in my collection for about 30 years now. It is root over rock. I got it from Ed Clark at least 3 seasons ago. And then our job today, we're gonna look at some primary branching on this guy. So first thing usually you want to do is before you want to begin is, I kind of know where my front is. My front is going to be right around here somewhere. So let me tag it for you. Normally I try to find the front. This was recently repotted about this February, actually January, late January, early February. So I didn't do anything too drastic to it because it's, just repotting, it's pretty drastic alone. So today what I'm gonna do is trying to look at some primary branching. It's so overgrown right now. This is only a couple months of literally 2 months of growth right now. So we're gonna look at, I'm gonna remove this really quick so you can see. So that's a trunk, and then it's a Moyigi style, and it's a root over rock. So what we're gonna do is look at a couple primary branching. So my goal is to actually remove this branch here, not to wire it. It's a little bit too early to wire. Most of this growth is still really young, tender, and if you wire at this point, you most likely will break it off when you're wiring, or worst case scenario, you're gonna actually have some wire scar, especially this early in the season. So my goal today is to look for the primary branching, try to get where I want my primary branches set, and then I'm just gonna cut today. And then after that, maybe in another series, we'll come back and look at this a little later. So that's my front, just because that's the best rootage and the movement, and the front's actually tilting towards the viewer. So my goal is to actually remove this branch right here. And the reason why I'm using that branch right there, it's action eye poker. So if this is my front, you don't want a branch that's like poking the viewer's eye. So that branch is actually gonna go, and then leaving this big branch here, I'm gonna cut it in an angle there, let this take off. I'm gonna wire that down a little lower. I'm gonna take off that top branch here and let these two sides grow off to fill in that area, especially this back area that's kind of voided here. I'm gonna keep that branch. I'm gonna let it grow out. When it grows out, I'm gonna lower it a little more. These in here, I'm gonna have to pick one of these. They're like a bar branch, so I'm gonna select one of these to keep. And then that's the apex I really wanted. It was a branch growth there last season, and I wanted that to pop out. Everything around it popped, so I'm gonna try to wake that one up. If not, that could be my apex. At this point, I can grow a new apex out. That's probably my first choice here. And then this branch, it's gonna go. Reason why it's gonna go, it's rather really straight, and the node's really long. So if you didn't know about maples don't back bud on branches unless there's a node. So a node is a straight growth, and then these two pieces of branching here, that's a node. So they'll always branch in that area. So if I cut it right down the middle here, it won't branch where I want it. It'll actually back bud all the way back there, or where we have these nodes. But I'm lucky enough that I have a secondary branch I grew right under this that has a small internode right there. So I'm gonna keep that one. So let's do that right now. Oh, I'm so rude, I didn't talk about it. So this pot was from Jim Barrett. So I actually had this commissioned. I love the shape of its octagonal pot. It's about 8 inches. This is actually one of my Shohins that I'll be producing. Yes, you'll see, you can see the little rootage there. So this is a root of a rock. I didn't have enough rootage all the way to go down here. So what I did is I backfilled it with sphagnum moss, and then I used this duct tape just to kind of bind everything together for now. In about a season or two, that disappear. And then this rock, it is a type of basalt. So it was kind of funny when I asked Ed where he collected his stones. It was the same spot out by the 40 freeway. But right after Bakersfield going to Laughlin, there's a natural scarring of volcanic activity back in, I don't know, 2-3 million years ago here in Southern California. So funny part, we both collected in the same area. So same type of stone, really hard basalt, dark stones, really cool looking, especially with this white or this really light tan color of this barkage of the Trident maple here. Mind you that I'm no expert. I just do this as a hobby. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. I do pretty much the same progress I do with all my trees. I really get my point of view of bonsai is the scientific side of it, you know, how you grow it, why. And the secondary is the artistic portion of it. So this branch is going to go again. So let me start it off. So this branch is going to go. Eye poking, you can't see the trunk line, so let me just remove that one first. Okay, I mean now you can see the trunk line. I'm gonna whittle this back pretty quick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let that grow and then that branch take off, so you can see a little better. Time for a bigger tool. That's pretty much as close as I can get it. So nice flat cut. It's pretty clean. I might come back with a razor to clean that edge off. Let me do that right now. Let me get the camera on pause. All right, so took my big cutters, I cut that clean. I'm gonna kind of get as clean as I can get it. I use a grafting knife just to make sure the edges are absolutely like flush clean. I want to make sure this has really good a clean surface that it can just callus over. I don't normally do this a lot, but when I get a chance, and I want to make sure this is a clean. You can see that's how clean that one is. I'll use a razor or a grafting knife, and I'll make sure that the edges are totally flush. There's no gaps on it, and then I'll seal it immediately. There we go, that's pretty clean. I use a little cut paste, seal the ends off so it heals really well. But you can see that's the front, and then now you can actually see this whole branch structure, and this will wire down, wire out. I'm gonna cut this branch off right here. And the reason why there's three. There's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When you have three, it becomes a swell. You'll see that in some natural trees that have like a little swelling. So let me cut that off right there. I'm gonna let that grow out, and then it's a little long, but you know I can deal with that one. I usually leave a little end like that, little die back a little bit, and then in about a month or two, when this kind of hardens out, I'm gonna wire that. Get some movement in there also, get the right angle, kind of lower in the right spot there, and then I'm going to clean this up a little better. Right now, just to select my branches, I'm going to keep those. This one back here, I'm going to keep. I'm just going to let it grow. That top one, remember we set the top one here? That one's right in the way. That straight one, I'm going to cut that because I have the one right underneath that's going to work perfectly. So let me just do a quick cut there. Alrighty. Alright. Let's hope something up there will activate. Now look at these branches. This is my front. I probably can use that. See, that's kind of like up in the way right here, and that's gonna fatten this area. Branch back here would be great. I wonder if I can do a thread graft. Look at the back. So that was a sacrificial branch I cut. That was a sacrificial branch from a year ago actually, and that was a half-season growth already. So I might let this one grow out and then I'll pin it right there to make another branch there. I think that might be the plan for that guy, or I might just take them out, and then when I let these branches grow out, I can pin it back there. So, or I can use one of these. So let me just take that guy off, and it's gonna like create a bulge back here. So let me do that now before it ruins the silhouette there. I think that branch, I know it's long, but the branch there, I think that one can go. They may go eventually. A little long inner node. So let me take that guy out. So, nice part about this stage is you can use your finger, rub it off. You don't have that scarring eventually. So. Here's my primary branch. I have a secondary. I got a big secondary back here. You don't really see that one. Get some depth. That one's gonna go out there. I took off that branch, and that little one back here is gonna take over with a very short end node right there. That's gonna just take off. And then yeah, that's it for now. Lindsay showed me this thing. So this is aluminum, heavy-duty aluminum duct tape. So it's really heavy aluminum tape with an adhesive in the back. So some Japanese literature, they use super glue or a little bit of glue and just a really heavy aluminum. And what that does is it forces the cambium to grow tight against its own wood there, and then it creates a very flush. There it is. Move it a little bit. Very flush growth. So instead of having a bulge there, that happens a lot. You'll get a bulge, and so what this does, it stops that bulge from occurring by pushing that cambium down. So that's it. So I'll probably wire this in about a month or two. When my indication is when the stems out here, the new growth is hardening out for the season. They are just out for about maybe 2-3 weeks now. I'll give it another 2-3 weeks, see where they are, and then I'll continue the series. But until then, if you like it, please subscribe. If you have other content you guys want to look at, and I have some time, I'll film it. But until then, stay home, stay safe. All right, quick update. There's that Trident maple that we trim most of the primary branches out. When we clean that one up, it's healing well. And then I didn't explain some of the longer branches on the back. So some of these longer branches, they're really to thicken this trunk up. Let me turn this around. So it's really this is a sacrificial branch. These two are actually sacrificial branches. And their goal is to fatten that main trunk up. So let me thin this out. And what I want to do is just have it down to 1 liter. And I just want that liter just to take off. And what I'm trying to do, a little stronger liter. What I'm trying to do is just to fatten the trunk up. say, hey, you know, get some energy, throw some energy out. And then what's different now is that one died out. That one's coming live now, so that's activating. So that's a good news. I cleaned that up, but this growth now is being really top heavy. So, and then this guy took over and really become top heavy. So all I'm going to do really quick is to slow down the growth. So I'm going to go to the first internode. Go down to the first internode. And then go down to the first. That's a different tree, a different branch. Okay. Same thing. Go to the very first internode. And there's no internode on that one. So what it does is I'm letting this now slow down the growth. Okay, slow down that energy production here, and then try and let this guy take off now. So it gets get a little thicker at the bottom one. So the primary branch want to be a little thicker. So this branch, they're a little too soft to wire. They're still a little green, but eventually I'm going to wire those out like that. So I'm going to let that harden a little more, and then I'm going to wire that back out. So here's a quick update. So right now, this I took off. Remember we had that branch before. I rubbed that off. That was in the wrong spot. Was the inner curve, so I rubbed it off. So now we're down to this like tertiary branch up here. What's interesting is I kind of let that one grow out. It's getting really strong. It's getting reverse taper now because not just one. Remember I just had one branch before. Now we got like 5. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna thin this out down to about 1 or 2 branches. I'm gonna let it harden off. And what I'm trying to do, I'm selecting for the one that's in the best position and with the shortest internode. Sharp scissors kind of play a part here. Okay. So that's gonna be my branch. I'm gonna let that grow a little more. I'm gonna wire it down basically. And then right here, adventitious bud, it's gonna push a new top. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to let these guys grow out. I'm gonna let these guys grow out and then wire them back down. But yeah, that's it. So far the top's looking really good. Hopefully we can get this primary branch set, this branch set right here, and then a new apex growing out in the next couple of weeks. But let's see what happens. But that's an update. I hope you enjoy this one. I'll talk to you guys later.